Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. This one, I'm gonna make my Pokemon and Tesla videos later. This one's just gonna be my thoughts on what I think I could do best for the world. And I made a Facebook status the other day saying that okay, you should not be satisfied with who you are. When people say like, you're okay as who you are. You don't need to change. And I think that is probably the worst advice to ever give someone. Like you're okay the way you are. I mean, people might like you the way you are, and you might live your life in such a manner where you don't need to change, and you could still live well or good and be good to other people. But to say you should be satisfied with the way you are, especially if you're young, definitely not. You could always be healthier. You could always do some reading and get more intelligent. And I think the scope of people that you can help as the way you are is like this. But as you grow and learn more and get better at things, it gets bigger. And then you just have knowledge to be able to help people. Maybe you increase your own self worth and you're able to get a better job and make more money, and that can help other people. And I think you're really doing a disservice to yourself and to other people by subscribing to that way of thinking, because then I think you owe it to not only yourself but the people around you why you should get better, because they deserve a better you. They deserve you at your best. And why I was going with that is because I want to say, like, want to save the world. Time is very limited, and we don't have a lot of it. I could not tell you where the past 10 years have gone. I mean, I could. I'm okay. I moved out, and then I worked for a little bit. Then I joined the military, and then I tried to go to school for a semester, which I did well, and then I got a job at the bank and started a business, and then I started another one, and it goes by very, very quickly. For anyone that's young, it goes by so freaking quick. And I want to leave this world a better place than I had come into it. And obviously, I don't have to do anything for that to happen. People are great and people are fantastic. You have your, Steve Irwins that loved animals and educated people about animals, and, bought wilderness areas and donated them conservation efforts. And you have Elon Musk, which is planning to, help transition the world to sustainable energy. And this is something that I thought was interesting, because I wanted to have a, okay, what's the best way to help out the world? Is it to buy land in Madagascar and to, that's where a lot of endangered species are, and then you'll be able to say, okay, I can do that and maybe save a couple species, because if we're alone in this world, then every single life form that's on this earth matters, I think. And or maybe it's not. Maybe it, try to solve the global warming crisis. And you think, okay, well, how do I do that? And it's because the Earth's oceans are getting warmer and the hurricane sizes are getting bigger. Any old school folks that remember back in the day, Hurricane Andrew and Hurricane Gloria, and you look on you see the data, and the storms are like this. But then you look recently, like the last 10 years, 15 years, and the storms have gotten so huge, and it's like, well, that doesn't just happen. It happens for a reason. Why is it happening? Okay, it's because the Earth is heating up. Why is the Earth heating up? Well, it's very hard to tell. There's a bunch of evidence that suggests that what humans are doing, which I agree with, is not good for the Earth. They're taking coal, so they're taking carbon from inside the Earth, they're burning it, and then they're releasing it into the atmosphere. It can cause a greenhouse effect, so that is not good. But okay, we have to look into that. That's bad, but what is a consequence of doing that? Well, now there's more trees in the northern hemisphere than there were in 100 years ago. And I bet nobody would think that. But no, it's probably less trees, because people are always chopping down trees for landscaping. Like, with that episode of SpongeBob and Plankton, like, you used me for land development. And, that's what people think. Okay, evil corporations, they chop down trees, make paper, and, shoo all the animals away, and they build buildings and whatever. But no, on the contrary, there is more trees now than 100 years ago. And part of that reason is because, well, you're not chopping down trees to burn anymore. I mean, some people are, you have firewood, but a lot of it is because people are burning coal. And you say, okay, well, coal's not a good thing to burn because it goes into the atmosphere. And agreed, but what are we going to do? Germany already tried going to solar and wind energy, and it's a very, very good thing to try because we want cleaner earth, cleaner air, cleaner water, and it's just they couldn't do it because there's no way to store it. And the sun goes down; it's only up for a certain amount of hours a day, and particularly depending on the season. And they actually wound up the experiment. They actually wound up burning more fossil fuels because they had to keep turning them on every so often. And thankfully, Elon Musk, and maybe I'll mention this in a Tesla video. Once he makes those batteries, giant battery packs, and you have Autobidder, and people become utility companies, that will change the world for the better in a way that you can't even imagine. It is, and that's why I pouring 30%, 1/3 of my money into it, because so ripe for disruption. It's good, and it's good for the world. So when I try to think of these things and how best to help, I go in them, and I'm just thinking out loud here, and I'm trying to think, okay, what's the best way to help? And I don't know. There's so many people. I mean, the UN in 2000, they had said, okay, by 2050, like the amount of people that's in abject poverty that can't afford food, that we want to have that by 2015. They said that in 2000, and they did it by 2013. So yes, you don't have to really do much. A lot of people are doing stuff already, and free market capitalism that really, really helps take care of a lot of people. I know there's a lot of political strife about the 1% and everyone else, and okay, fair point. It's not fair that during the pandemic these billionaires made how many more billions of dollars while the rest of us, I mean, I personally lost $80,000. So no, that's not fair. But again, a consequence of those actions is that a rising tide raises all ships, and the standard of living for us is so much better than it was even 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago when I was born. And so they're really complicated to solve. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things such as, let's say, global warming. Again, just something that we'll have to solve. It's one of the 200 things that the UN has on their to-do list that's their goals. I don't, to say you want to do 200 things can be seen as they are so great, they want to do all of these things. But at the same time, no, if you try to take all of your energy and focus on a couple things, you're most likely going to get those couple things done. But take all of your energy and resources and time and spread them out 200 things, that's not going to happen. And even with global warming, you have let's say the data that we have on right now, let's say where it is or why the temperature is rising, and our charts on our measurements for the future, it gets wider and wider each time you have as time goes on, because errors are made, and they can't predict 100% where it's going to go. And at the end of 50 years, you have no idea if what you did would have made a positive or negative impact, because the margin of error is so large, you wouldn't be able to tell. So it's very, very complicated. If anyone has any type of ideas or any type of things to do that, okay, this is something that I know helps. Part of the thing that I think our oceans are very overfished. So, okay, and a lot of the fishing is done in the Mediterranean. Like, how do I buy the Mediterranean Sea? How do I do it? And I think it only gets... I think the best way to help is just to better yourself. And then if you see a situation in which you come along where you can help, you should help. You have a moral, I think, obligation to help. It's a responsibility to, regardless of what it is, whether it's donating money or donating your time or helping someone out. I just wish we could all be like that. And a lot of people are. But that's part of the reason why I think we should all work on ourselves more. Because it's, our time here is very, very limited. And I wish we had this Superman type person to come in and say I'm so intelligent, this is what I've seen in the universe, I know how to help, but we don't. So I think the best thing to do is just to do what is right, you know, try to develop the skills that we have and become better people, and you know, then you have an opportunity to help in a situation. That's just me. Again, I'm sorry for the rambling. That's just I'm just trying to work things out here. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Tesla and Pokemon video. Oh god, 2 come. Okay, bye.